Dr. Chen, it's yours.
I guess now it's my
You have
turn,
all your
right?
time.
I look at the time now. It's 1:30. I think that we have about 1 hour to go over
Right.
because to cover this 542 and also the question relates to the project. Okay. Since we have, I think I have adequate time, so I would like to um, first of all, I probably Kameli, can you make me a co-host also so that I can kind of control the screen?
So you
I think
can
you can.
share the
Oh, I
screen.
can do
Yeah,
that
you can
already now.
control the
Okay,
screen.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. Anyway, so for some time, I kind of observed this software business. My observation, obviously, is kind of my personal observation. Um, it seems to me that software business now is kind of gears toward so-called people business. Okay, so even sometimes I make this um, very brave statement by saying that, hey, software business is people business nowadays. Okay. Since I have that kind of belief, I kind of want to invite everyone to turn on your camera if you can, or no, your bedroom is not that well organized. So sometimes you do want to protect your privacy. If you're able to turn on your camera, I kind of invite everyone to turn on so that we can see each other. So that's just me, you. All right. So why? Because that falls into this idea of software business is people business. Okay. So all right, and then so let me see. My screen is a little bit smaller, so let me kind of go over. Okay, but anyway, so if you would like to, just turn on your camera, say hi to everyone, then so that we have a little bit human touch here. Although I know that this is online program, we kind of, in the past 18 or 20 months, we work from home. I guess everyone misses a little bit this human touch, all right? Okay, and also from an instructor point of view, it would be great to match your name and your face together, right? So anyway, so that's my first one, suggestion. My second suggestion is, I guess the chat is working now. Maybe you can, if you don't mind, write a little bit brief discussion of yourself. I know that most of you joined the group already. Within the group, each other super good already. But on the other hand, you may not know other people in other groups. If possible, would you please write a very short sentence in your chat to kind of briefly introduce professionally, what you do. Suppose you don't want mind to review your organization, say something about that too. Okay, so that we can kind of share that connection or information a little bit here and there. So in order to make this, again, adding a little bit human touch, I would like to have a little bit interaction. So let me pose one question. Okay. What are the most three important things in terms of your career development? You guys are young. You need to worry about this career development. I'm too old, within probably 2-3 years, I'm going to retire. So that's a last leg of my career. But for you guys, you have probably 30-40 years to go. But anyway, so what are the three most important things in terms of your career development? All right, anybody can jump on this. Okay, why are other people, writing a little bit chat and kind of briefly introduce yourself? I'm going to ask Tom to answer that question. Tom, can you try?
I'm assuming you wanted us to speak instead of in the chat, but sure, I can start that off.
Okay.
Tom Trenkamp here. I'm a lead software engineer for a small custom web app developing company. I'm also a Michigander, which I think is I might be the
Very
only
good.
one
Tom is
here.
far away from us.
Yes. So I can jump out with a couple of things. They're all going to sound cheesy. So
Three, please.
three things. Yeah. So one, it's like just constant learning, right? I mean, I feel like being in tech is just about loving learning. My background is actually education, not tech. My undergrad was in education. I was a math major.
Okay, learning,
And
the
yeah,
first one.
so just always be learning. Two, I see a lot about, humans, but I mean, I would just echo that. Similar, so I'm not gonna comment anymore on that. It's similar to what
Okay.
everything's saying. And third, oh gosh, I don't know, just get nerdy probably is that's something real simple. But yeah, hi all, happy Saturday. I'll
Okay, thank you. Let me try one more. Of our classmates. Bruce, you look like you have a lot of life experience, and maybe you can share your life experience with us. What are the three important things in career development?
Well, I posted the three things I think are like, if I summarize, number one, it's more about the humans than you think. Like
Okay.
it's all well and good to be amazing developer, an amazing manager, an amazing this, but it's all about the humans, what they want and how they work and how they're squishy and organic and things like that. Number two is keep abreast of the technology. I wouldn't go so far as to say you have to be generating apps yourself on every platform that's new, but you better know about the technology and be comfortable with it and be able to stick with the people who are abreast and using the technology. It's pretty critical to be abreast as much as you can. A corollary to that is try to maintain some area in which you are expert or up to date, for example, so that you can always contribute something technically. And the third thing is a little bit more personal, which is you need to pursue your career because it won't pursue you. If you're not managing it and saying, am I doing what I want? Is this an opportunity? Should I try this out? Is this going in a good direction? Not that you don't take bad directions. Sometimes you may take a bad direction for life experience, for the sake of the company, because of people, something like that. But be active in your career and saying, I like being more technical. I like being more design. I like being more manager. Be very careful and to pursue that. Those would be my three main things.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like the
for your
last one.
contribution.
To pursue your career, you won't pursue you. I like that.
Thank you.
Well, obviously, there's no correct answer, so to speak. By the way, you probably realize that in software engineering, there's no correct answer. There are no fixed answers. All depends on the situation. All depends on your way of articulation, try to convince your fellow colleagues, and then everybody say, well, okay, we are on the same boat, let's do that together. Even, your answer is wrong, but since everybody's kind of work together, in the end, you probably end up with a good result or correct result. Okay. Anyway, so it turns out that the answer I like for those three important things are networking, and
Are you going to say networking again?
Networking. Why? Because if you look at the real estate business, those people over there, they say the most important thing when you buy a house, a property, is location. Okay. Anyway, the reason I kind of mentioned that one is because this also relates to our, 542 and other courses. Okay. Again, based on my observation and my own personal experience, I just want to kind of share that with you. Maybe wrong, just my, take that as a second opinion. Don't take it as from the Bible, that kind of thing. Okay. All right. In terms of career development and in terms of this overall SE, software engineering approach, it seems to me that there are two levels. One is a little bit down to the ground, near to the ground level. I call that technical level. Okay. And then there is another level higher than that. I call that as a strategic level. Okay. I made that mistake. You know, I started my career 35 years, 40 years ago. I guess I'm a hardworking guy. I guess have many different kind of wide range of the interests or whatever. But anyway, I love this technology stuff. Okay, but so I got into many different fields, so from hardware, robotics, to AI at the time. You know, the neural network. I started this neural network since 40 years ago, actually. But anyway, eventually software, blah blah blah, that kind of thing. Nothing wrong. I enjoy that one. I make a good living. But on the other hand, I don't think I have achieved the so-called um, financial security in life. Okay. Don't get me wrong, Cal State Fullerton pay me relatively well. However, you know, on the other hand, I look around. For example, Paul. Wow, I think Paul probably make a lot more than I do. Okay, but anyway, so financial security, fortunately or unfortunately, is one of the things. If you live in this capitalist economy, you have to put that in mind. Otherwise, you cannot afford probably a home in Orange County, California, blah, 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 that kind of way. Okay. But anyway, so I kind of encourage everybody, even study this SE, try to look at the technology into two levels. One is a technical level, another one is a strategic level. Okay. And don't completely focus on this technical level, okay? Simply because you probably see the trees, but you miss the forest. Let's put that way. Let's put that way. Okay. And then, but anyway, so my brief personal story goes this way. Around 6-7 years ago, my wife and I met a lady, and then because that meeting, somehow that changed my financial status, so to speak. And within 6 years, we have achieved, you know, comfortable financial security. Okay. And then the reason for that one is we did some networking, all right? And then eventually, all of a sudden, this person show up and opens up our eyes, okay? And all of a sudden, we see different things. So that's the reason why I kind of suggest you guys, yes, we need to work hard. Yes, we need to study all this and that one. And then, you know, that's the reason why we are here. We are people who love this technology, type of thing. Nothing wrong. But while you're seeing the trees, don't miss the forest. Okay, so try to network with other people, right? And talk to people with different views, different background, that kind of thing. That really opens up. That really kind of supplement the weakness at this so-called strategic level. Most of the technical people, they spend too much time at this technical level, and then all of a sudden, I guess they lose the sight of this strategic level. And talking to people, networking with people. Sometimes just one meeting probably will change things. That happens to me just 5 years, 6 years ago. That's one meeting changes my financial life. Okay. Anyway, all right. So let me see. Shall we go to the boring, you know, the regular way of going through the curriculum, the class syllabus? All right. So let me share my screen with you. I have posted the whole course on the Canvas already. Okay, so let me figure out which one. Okay. Sorry for this. I have too many windows open. Okay.
Like that's the life of a software engineer, having too many windows open.
All right. Okay. So anyway, so let me do that. Anyway, so maybe I just log in one more time. Okay. Oh, over here, over here. Okay. No, this is not right. Okay. Sorry. Share. I'll do this one. That's 441. That's fine. Let's move to 542. Dashboard. Okay, I have posted everything. I mean, not everything, but most of the things on the canvas already. So the most important thing is the syllabus. Okay, I actually posted the syllabus, I guess, 1 or 2 days ago, but I made a little bit change over there, just minor changes. So I put a revised version there. So if you have downloaded the first version, nothing, I mean, not major things wrong with that first version, but if you have a chance to please download the second version, the revised version, probably is better than the first one. Okay, so let me open up that one. It's a little bit hard to see this one directly from the class website. Since most of you probably have 2 screens too, so you may want to use your another screen to open up, the class site, and then my screen just show you the Word file directly. So let me open up this one. 542. Okay, I guess everybody can see my screen, right? The syllabus. Okay. All of you took my class either 1 time or 2 times. Okay, the architecture and also the project proposal. 1/3 of you took my project proposal class. The other 2/3 worked with Dr. Bing Chang. Okay, so you probably are kind of familiar with my way of organizing the class already. I guess the most important thing is the office hour. So that's my office hour, my email, and then that's my school phone, but sometimes email obviously is preferred. Okay. Textbook, you can go over that later on. The most important thing is the first day of the class. Officially, today is the first day of the class, at least for the web classes. Okay. I have posted all the assignments with the due date already. Okay. I think that probably makes everybody's life a little bit easier so that you know what's coming, and then you have some lead time, I have some lead time, so I hope that will make your life a little bit better, okay, or easier. And then so the first thing I would like to encourage you to look at all those deadlines to make sure that you don't miss any of them. Okay, so week 1, 2, 3, all the way to 17. Okay. All right. And then, sure enough, this syllabus, I also have this grading policy and also the points or percentage for different categories of the assignment, exam, that kind of thing, and also the grading scale there. All right. You definitely are welcome to take a look at that one. And then after that, I kind of explained all the assignments already. We do have one essay. And then the first one is basically a survey of the software testing job in California. I think that most of us, as I mentioned before, are technical persons. And then sometimes we miss the or somehow ignore the business side of the issue. Although we enjoy technical stuff, but my observation is, if possible, we should also at least keep an eye on the business side, simply because those things are related. And also it's a little bit higher level. So in this class, I can also start with that one, high level. Let's survey the business. Let's survey the job market. After all, for us, most of us, at least for some period of time, we want to be prosperous in this industry, making good compensation. So most of us are chief breadwinner in your family. So you need to pay some attention to the business. All right, so that's one assignment. And we have some kind of presentation there, the individual presentation. And again, the idea is software business, in my mind, is people business. Okay? That means you need to somehow practice your way, okay? Your way of communicating. Don't try to compare yourself to other people. For example, wow, I look at my colleague, wow, this person can talk. All the fancy terms here and there. That's fine. I mean, everyone has his and her own way of communication. Try to develop your own. Okay? The world is huge, all right? And there are many people. Some people prefer this very fancy, sleek way of communication. That's fine. But some people may prefer that it's a very sincere person-to-person type of communication. Okay, you never know. Maybe your representations, when you speak from the bottom of your heart, so to speak. Okay, maybe you are not using this fancy, slick way of presenting things. Maybe your own way can really touch your manager. All right. But on the other hand, in all cases, we need a little bit of practice. All right, so all presentation requires some kind of audio portion. I do not recommend people just write things up and then just read through it, okay? Scripting this thing. Why? Because, I guess the human brain does not like that, okay? When you spend time with other people's presentation, they want to see you real time. You just tell them what do you feel at that particular second, all right? That somehow stimulates other people's brain more, okay? And makes this communication, exchange information more effective. So I really kind of recommend that, don't write things down. Just open out a slide and then just talk. Speak directly about your feeling, your understanding at that particular moment. Okay. That kind of presentation, at least in my mind, is more interesting. Okay. All right. And again, don't say that there's only one way of doing the presentation. I don't believe that. Okay. Everybody has his and her own different way of different type of talent. So you need to somehow just have a little bit confidence in yourself. I know why I am. I mean, there's another celebrity, I guess, can speak, can somehow cheer out everyone. I'm not that kind of person, but maybe I can cheer out a small group of people. I'm fine with that too. Okay, so have a little bit confidence in yourself. And so I kind of try to encourage that. Okay? All right. Anyway, we do have a group project, and then group project. And the reason I have the rationale behind the group project, number one, is encourage networking. Okay, you never know. Maybe 5 years down the line, so you need to find a good job or change your job. Hey, you still remember or still in touch with one of your old group members. Come on, at that time, pick up the phone and call, and maybe that is the beginning of something. Okay. So that's one purpose. Okay. The second purpose is one thing we, the technical people, face is there are too many things to learn. Okay. 40 years ago, when I started my career, I kind of thought that, hey, I can learn everything. And then eventually I gave up. Come on, there are so many things in the world. And also the internet, the explosion of the human knowledge. there's no way you can cover everything. Oh, if you limit the focus all the way to the software, the same thing. There are so many different kind of things, new thing popping on in the software. Are you going to cover everything? It's impossible. Another observation I have is this. I call that as the shelf life of knowledge. And one career mistake I made, is, at least in the past, I kind of thought that, I'm going to accumulate some of the knowledge so that when opportunity comes, maybe I can use that piece of knowledge to gain something, all right? And eventually I gave up, all right? And then I realized, at least my observation, the knowledge has shelf life, especially in software, okay? So your time is your money. Just like, investor. If somebody say, wow, that Selenium, in this case, Selenium is a wonderful testing tool, and everybody needs to learn that, and so that you can have a Selenium job in the future, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not true. And also it depends on your own situation, okay? So if you don't see any kind of near-term business opportunity for this learning the Selenium, but obviously in this class you have to learn that one. I just use that one as an example. Okay, you may want to consider whether you want to invest 100 hours, 200 hours on this kind of tools type of thing, because that 100, 200 hours of investment may not bring good ROI, return on investment, for you. But on the other hand, with a good training, that's the reason why I kind of encourage everybody to bring your view sometimes all the way to the strategic level. Okay, then you can spend about 5 hours to survey this Selenium, the industry, and then can have some kind of good idea about the future. At least you have some kind of 5 hours investment over there, and if you see the proper opportunity, then you jump right into it. All right, and I have another term. I call that just-in-time learning. Okay, so just like the automobile industry, they figured that one out. They don't want to make the tons of the automobiles sitting in the parking lot and waiting for people to buy. No, they call that just-in-time inventory. And my observation is, well, maybe this learning is just-in-time learning also. Okay, so anyway, so that's my observation. So this is a group project, and then don't be surprised. This group project actually use a little bit real world type of situation. So we're going to use this full stack framework, as a target to do the testing, right? And some of you may say, "Gee, yes, I heard about this full stack framework, that kind of thing, but I did not have a chance to learn this. Wow, you asked me to do this everything in one class. Is that too demanding?" Well, this is a group project, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of you are in that industry already. This is a piece of cake for you. So I appreciate that you can kind of help your group member a little bit. Even nobody knows it, and it's not that hard. Okay. The barrier of the computer science software knowledge now is lower and lower and lower. Okay. As a matter of fact, you don't have to come to this MSc program. If you has some basic self-learning skill, you can learn everything all by yourself. But on the other hand, on one hand, this is a good thing. The learning barrier is low. But on the other hand, you have to realize that although you are getting this MSc degree, it doesn't really guarantee 100% for your career, simply because you have a tons of competitors outside. They don't have the regular degree, that kind of thing. However, since the learning barrier is so low, a lot of people from other fields, they jump into the software. And there's a saying that software is ubiquitous. Okay, and other professionals, they realize that, and you have to realize that when you compete, this is a capitalist society. I mean, economy, right? So healthy competition is a way to improve everyone. Okay, but anyway, when you realize that you need to compete with them, you need to see that they have their domain knowledge, and some of us, we don't have a domain knowledge. What does that mean? Okay, for example, there's a guy from accounting. Okay, all of a sudden he sees that, hey, the software in the accounting industry is so important because software is ubiquitous, right? And this guy or a group of the same situation people, they realize, hey, they want to jump into the software and then do some accounting, so-called financial tech, fintech. Okay, and as a way to compete with us, the pure computer science guys, you will see that you have some disadvantage. Okay, they have domain knowledge of the accounting. You don't. Okay, you're a tour guy only. So anyway, so when you jump into another one, try to broaden your view a little bit. Okay, don't be afraid to go into some kind of new field or other fields. Okay? And try to kind of divide the whole thing into two levels: strategic level and technical level. Okay? You don't need to jump into the technical level right away. Okay? Diving in too fast, too soon. Sometimes it's a mistake. Stay at the strategic level a little bit to have some kind of overall view before you decide which way to jump in, so that your ROI is acceptable. All right, but anyway, so that's the group part here. Okay. And then, as usual, we have some kind of discussion, blah, blah, blah. And I post everything already, and also I provide, as usual, some kind of FAQ to guide you a little bit. Okay, and obviously, as I mentioned before, in software engineering, there's no correct or fixed answer. Okay? And then the training, I believe, is to nurture your way of expressing your view, your understanding. Okay? When you express your way of your understanding, your logic, believe it or not, actually you help yourself. Okay? Why? Because I guess it's part of the human brain structure. When you try to somehow convey that your view, your argument, somehow your brain spin and organize everything in a tighter way. If you kind of realize that there is some missing part, then your brain will try to fill that part out automatically. And sure enough, along the way, you may help your colleagues. Okay? So helping other people, in the end, helping yourself. I guess there's an old saying. It seems to me that's true. Okay, when you help some other people, actually in the end, you help yourself the most. All right. Anyway, so we have some kind of topic and kind of post all in once, so that everyone is on the same page and can create a lead time, that kind of thing. I have some kind of general FAQ also. All right. That pretty much is about the thing I want to talk. There's one more thing, okay. Couple of days ago, I read a interesting article. It's a little bit old, but I still believe that's kind of interesting. Okay, so because of when I try to figure out what should I talk in this presentation, I kind of worry a little bit that the group project, because talk about the full stack the development, not everyone in this group has this full stack experience, and then someone may complain, oh, this is you know, too much, blah blah blah, that kind of thing. Okay. So I thought about that one, and then when I read this article, and then I said, well, maybe I could use that one as a way to explain this. Okay. But anyway, so for those of you who know the full stack, you know that the market is very good nowadays. Okay. You know, it's starting 100K, 160, or that kind of range. Okay. And then, but on the other hand, in terms of long term, okay, so let me see whether I can show that. All right. So if you are interested, you can easily search this one. It's from the McKinsey. All right, and then the title for this one is where machines could replace humans and where they can't, that kind of thing. Okay. All right. And most of the people probably have this idea, oh, automation, AI is going to replace a lot of jobs, that kind of thing. Yeah, you know, we know that one. Okay. But the interesting thing is the way they kind of put this thing into perspective. Okay. So they actually break down the time. That's a very interesting way of doing this. So over here, you can see that the time spent in all US occupations percentage. Okay, that means you may, you know, on average, one person may spend 80% of the time doing some kind of predictable physical work. I guess that's their description. And then 16% of the time is data processing, data collection, 17%, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, 16% the stakeholder interactions. Okay. Today, at this particular moment, we are doing this stakeholder interaction. Do you agree? I think so. Okay. Anyway, and and then the 14% of the times applying expertise. Okay, so you know, once you got a degree, or you have this degree already, come on. So you're using your degree to do some kind of productive work. Right? And then 7% managing others. Okay, you look at this percentage, wow, you know, kind of reasonable. All right, and the interesting thing is about this chart. So this kind of, you know, the bottom chart maps to the upper chart. Okay. All right. And then the upper chart is a percentage of the time spent on activity that can be automated by adopting current demonstrated technology. Okay, this is 2016. Okay, so years away now. You know, the AI is incredible now. Okay. I just watched this Boston robotic. It's scary. The robot can jump, can run, just like a human. Eventually, you're going to see the robot soldiers killing people. That's really terrible. Okay, but anyway, so you can see that even in 2016, 78% of this type of work is highly susceptible. That means replaceable. Okay. At this moment, you may wonder, gee, your class is software testing, and what do you mean here? Okay, how can you mention this? Okay. Well, it turns out that software testing, for most of you, probably will say, gee, software testing is the second class in our industry. I want to be a software developer. I want to be after a couple of years of hard working, I want to be a software architect. You know, we just finished out the architect class, right? Because some of you get excited. Gee, architect's job, you know, 1 or 2 times was the #1 job, the best job rating by World News and Report, #1, in terms of pay or the compensation and then working environment, blah blah blah, #1. So I guess a lot of people get excited saying that I want to pursue this developer, and eventually I'm the architect. Okay. All right. Nothing wrong. Obviously, you want to pursue that one. And then when we come to this software testing, then you say, gee, software testing is a second-class citizen in this business. I don't want to do that. Okay. Yes, I'm forced to take this class. Maybe it's just have some kind of knowledge over there, but I don't want to do it. I don't think this is a good career. If you if you kind of have a little bit higher view, strategic level, or talk to people. Again, networking. You want to talk to people. Don't just talk to me. Okay? You may want to contemplate this a little bit more. All right. My personal view, again, I now try to promote this. I simply share my personal view with you. You can take that as a second opinion, or I take it or leave it. Okay. Because in order to teach classes, and obviously, I need to keep do things to keep up with the technology also, right? So I kind of remember that a year ago, I use the word dump. Okay, that means you really need to put in the hours in order to, suppose you kind of focus on one particular technology already. Okay, so you believe that your ROI is high, so you just dive in. I probably dumped about 300 hours into this full stacks and stuff, okay, React. And then I do have this simple website. I kind of show the React a little bit. Okay. For those of you who plan to kind of select this, front end, back end, full stack kind of job market, you need to check around. I'm not saying this particular website is 100% correct, but at least when I do this investment ROI assessment of my 300 hours, I look at this kind of curve, to make sure that my ROI potentially will be high. Okay, can you see that this React is going on? Okay. All right, this Angular somehow, Vue is another one, but it's kind of coming on, that kind of thing. jQuery is going down. But anyway, so again, you cannot learn it all. You don't have that enough time and energy. All right. So I said, forget it. I only want to pick one, okay, instead of just touch here and there to spread myself too thin. Okay, so I just pick one. And obviously you want to make some kind of good bet, at least a calculated bet. I bet on this React. And after a couple hundred hours of work into that, and then I realized, gee, the React use so-called decorative approach. What does that mean? That means it's a little bit high-level type of expression. You declare something, and then all of a sudden that happens. You don't have to do a lot of things. Okay? I mean, that's the goal, but in reality, obviously, you still need to do a little bit kind of tie the loose end here and there. But anyway, at least that's the idea. I look at that idea and say, wow, this is interesting. You declare something, then the whole thing's open. This framework or library enables you to realize that, declare the desire, so to speak. Okay, all of a sudden, that kind of thing. Then I say, wow, this is very interesting. Okay, but and then at this point, then again, you may question me, what's the reason you mentioned this? Has this something to do with software testing? Well, once the technology becomes mature enough, I mean, I kind of worry that this decorative type of approach become predictable physical work. Once it becomes predictable physical work, I will be in trouble. maybe not, I will retire. Okay, something like that. All right. But anyway, my view is still we need to claim that we are developer. You never try to claim that I'm a pure tester. No. You want to claim that I wear two hats. One is a developer and architect. If you confident enough, you say, hey, I'm a software architect. Okay. But on the other hand, you may also say, hey, I also know the testing very well. I have another hat, okay, tester, or the SQA, so software quality assurance guy. Okay. Why? Because in my opinion, the SQA, software quality assurance of testing, kind of falls into this side, okay? Unpredictable physical work, shareholder action, apply expertise. Obviously, developer also has that one, but on the other hand, don't estimate this AI stuff. Okay, all right, and then managing others. So, so finally, after the 20 minutes of blah blah blah, I finally kind of bring the topic back to the software testing, or the so-called fancy word, verification and validation. Okay, if you think hard, okay, this type of work actually falls into this area. You need to talk to your stakeholders a lot. Okay, why? Software business becomes people business. Okay. As a SQA person, you will have a lot of opportunity to talk to high-level manager, high-level customers, okay, high-level, a lot of users. Okay.
Dr. Chen, can I interrupt
Yes.
you for a minute?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
I know you have a lot of things to talk about.
Okay, I have a 2:20, right? Okay.
Right, we still have time, but I just want
Okay,
to be
good.
mindful
I'm
about
wrapping up. Okay.
right.
But anyway, so think about this, all right? Okay. And again, the one more minute, to conclude this. Okay. But anyway, so have a little bit again over here. We have two workers over here. One is logger, cut the tree. Another one is machinist doing some kind of metal work. Do you know which one will actually is the answer over here? This one falls into unpredictable physical work. This one falls into predictable physical work. So just for fun. So can somebody kind of turn on the mic to say why this is unpredictable physical work and why this is the predictable physical work? Anyone?
Repetition.
Repetition, okay. And then how about this is an unpredictable physical work? Why? Well, I'm out of time. It turns out that logging, cutting the wood in the forest is very super dangerous. There's a lot of factors. The tree may fall on you. It's very difficult. I mean, dangerous work. All right, so unpredictable physical work. All right, I pretty much finish up at least my story here. Sorry for spending on the time. I think that there's another 10 minutes for the 597. So I'm going to stop sharing. All right, so we go back 597. All right, so this is not the coming semester, but the spring 2022. All right, I guess my message is you want to have some kind of allocation, 1 or 2 hours, keep your momentum going, all right? Instead of saying that I finish out the project, so let's worry about that in the spring 2022. Try to at least spend 1, 2, 3 hours. Just keep the momentum going.